Hey everybody, here I'm with my brand new Rectec Flagship XL 1400. This, as the name implies, is one of Rectec's flagship models, and it's the 1400 model, which means it has 1,400 square inches of cooking space. So this beast right here, right now is cooking 2 8-pound briskets that we're gonna eat for dinner today. And I started these briskets last night around 9:30 p.m. and I let them slow smoke at 200 degrees Fahrenheit all night. And then when I woke up in the morning, I cranked up the temperature to 225, and then once they reached 165 degrees Fahrenheit, I wrapped them in paper, and then I cranked it up to 250. And now I'm just waiting for the internal temperature on each brisket to reach 205 degrees before I take them out, let them rest, and then enjoy. But the point of this video is to show you how the Rectec Flagship XL 1400 arrives from freight, fully boxed up. I'm going to unbox it, do the assembly, and it will show you how everything comes together. This was purchased with the Essentials package. So you can see we have the actual smoker inside this large box. It arrives on a pallet, and the Essentials bundle comes with 40 pounds of the Ultimate Blend hardwood pellets. You get an 18-pound bag of cherry pellets, hickory, apple, and last but not least, mesquite. Then you also get the Backyard Beast front folding shelves, so that's inside this box right here. You get a box of nitrile gloves, get the mesh mat, this is the grill cover, and you get a rub and sauce bundle. Now let me get this unboxed and I can begin the assembly. Inside are all the parts that we need to perform the assembly. Let's see, so it looks like this is the drip bucket. This looks like it could dented slightly, but I'm not gonna make a huge deal out of that since this is just a drippings collection bucket. But I am going to look at the rest of the smoker to make sure there's no other signs of damage. The grill does not come with a paper manual. It comes with this sheet in here. You gotta scan the QR code, and after you scan the QR code, it brings you to the website where you can actually download the manual. They also have an installation video on there as well. So I'm not gonna go into as much detail in my video because they also made a video and I don't wanna duplicate too much content. Now for the installation, I'm using a drill right here. They don't recommend using an impact driver for obvious reasons. So you're better off using a drill and with the torque limiter set to the lowest setting, like I have it here. So I have mine set at 1. That way you don't over tighten any of the screws. But if you do use a drill, it's gonna save you a lot of time over using a manual screwdriver. So I got all 4 of my legs laid out here, and each leg takes 3 small screws, and each small screw takes 1 flat washer and 1 lock washer. And anytime you use a lock washer, the lock washer goes directly under the screw head, and then the flat washer would be what interfaces with the mating surface that your screw is fastening onto. All four legs are not the same, but you can't install the legs in the wrong position because the holes won't line up if you have the wrong leg in the wrong position. All right, once the screws are started by hand, you go ahead and tighten them up. Alright, now just repeat that same thing for the next three legs. Okay, after the legs are installed, now it's time to attach the bottom shelf. So the bottom shelf just fits into the four legs just like this. Make sure the Rectec logo is facing the front of the grill. Then attach that using two small bolts on each of the four legs with lock washers and flat washers. After that, it's time to attach the wheels. Those get attached by using medium bolts, and the fixed wheels go on the left and the swivel casters go on the right. And that's how it should look when it's done. Now we are ready to install the side shelf. So you're going to go ahead and put the side shelf on there, and this can be a little tricky, especially if it's just you that's working on it. Basically, the bolts just feed through onto the inside of the pellet grill, and you're going to stabilize the shelf at the same time that you load on the lock washer, flat washer, and nuts. You can go ahead and unwrap the RTD wires. Those have to get uncoiled and then fed through this hole right there. And that feeds through that hole into underneath the side shelf, and then you gotta remove this little access cover because those wires need to feed again through another hole. That hole has a grommet on it. You'll see that in a second. And once you get those wires in there, they have to attach. You see the grommet right there. Those two connectors that have to attach right up top of that board right there. So you can see the two connectors there. They say RTD right on them. And then after you connect those, you can go ahead and close that access panel back up. Now it's time to just disconnect this piece of flexible wire conduit and pull out the other end, which has a wire harness on it, and you go ahead and feed that through there. And there's a little ring that you go ahead and secure that on there, and then you can attach that wire harness together and then go ahead and attach that cover back on. Just a wing nut that fastens that on. Next is the pull bar. So we go ahead and install a pull bar, and that comes with pre-installed screws, so you have to unscrew those first, and then that just screws right onto the right side of the grill. And then it's this smokestack. Smokestack is another easy thing to install. Use two large bolts, and again, lock washers and washers with nuts on the inside. Then you're gonna have to lift the grill upright. I did this myself. The thing is pretty heavy, but then once you get it up, it's time to install the handles and the lid sweep. So that's the lid sweep right there. So what I did is I used a bar clamp just to hold that in place while I got the handles squared away. And to make sure that the horns are facing up when the lid is closed, then you can go ahead and attach the handles with the this little piece of rubber that goes in between the handle and the lid. Go ahead and get those all attached, tighten down, and you are good to go to install the deflector. Now the deflector I put in the wrong way the first time. The right way is this way. I had it turned 90 degrees, so it should be facing this direction. And then you put in your drip pan,
And that just goes so it slopes down towards the area that the drip bucket gets hung under. Then you can install your cooking grates. So that's the bottom cooking grate. And then there's the upper cooking grate going on there. And then last but not least, we hang the drip bucket.
All right, now that our Rectec is fully assembled, it's time to do an initial burn off. That's basically where you fill the hopper about halfway with pellets. You fill about a quarter cup of pellets into the burn pot. Set the grill for 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Then we're gonna close the lid and let it smoke for an hour just to burn off any residual stuff from manufacturing and produce the final cure of the grill. So any paint and stuff like that. But before that, I'm just gonna wash down the grates with some mild soap and water for the first time, and then we're gonna go ahead and do that initial burn. So now my brand new Rectec is fully assembled. I couldn't wait to start my first smoke. So that's what I have in here now. So be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss my future review of this same pellet grill right here, the Rectec Flagship XL 1400. Alright, thanks for watching.